Hi guys, I'm here with the amazing Alessia Cara. It has been just a week since you released your new album, Love and Hyperbole. Congratulations at first. And then
Thanks.
second, how do you feel right now? Is the reception of the album from the fans as you expected?
Um, Honestly, it's more than I expected to be honest, because I've been away for about 2.5 years, I guess three, since I've released an album. So it's been a long time, and I think, this industry moves so fast. So you just always, or at least me, I always just think that, maybe people have moved on to something else. It's normal for, people to not wait around for forever, especially in this changing industry. So I honestly didn't expect this many people to like be excited about my music, and it just feels really nice. I mean, there's like, fans who have been there for the last 10 years that have supported me as if it's day one, and then new people. I've been getting so many messages from people saying like, I haven't heard your music in so long, and I used to listen to you, and I just discovered you have this album and it's so nice. So I've just been getting a lot of those messages, so it feels really nice to be welcomed back.
Like a refresh. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah.
So this album has been described, I guess, as your most personal work yet. I think it's always, the next album that is more personal. But can you
Mhm.
share the inspiration behind the title and the themes you explore on this album?
Yes. So the title is like for like a few different reasons. I think, the obvious side of it is love. I mean, it's called Love and Hyperbole. So the love side is basically just self-explanatory, but I think every single song on the album explores a different version of love, whether it's like romantic love that's happy, romantic love that's sad, self-love, love of life, familial love. Like there's so many different aspects of love that I was exploring on this album. So that side of it was that. And then there's this other side, which is hyperbole, which is, this like sense of like exaggeration or the sense of like drama or something. And I think sometimes when you're thinking of love and when I write about love, I tend to be a little bit like dramatic because everything feels so big. Every emotion becomes so heightened, right? And sometimes you convince yourself that things are way bigger than they actually are. And so that's where the hyperbole comes in, because I was writing from that place of just like, making everything bigger than it needed to be sometimes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of where the title comes from.
And I've heard that you have the ability of synesthesia. So I want to ask you this. What is the color of this album and what do you see when you're thinking about this?
So usually when I think of the colors of the album, I usually make the album cover those colors. So for this album, I saw like so much like wine red and like that burgundy kind of color. It's almost like a reddish purpley tone.
Mhm.
And I was seeing that for so many of the songs. And so that's why I made the cover that color because it just felt like that. And even when you think of love and you think of like that warmth that you feel like it I don't know, that color just kept coming to mind. So that's uh that's kind of why I made the album that color. And there was also like a lot of like charcoal gray and black and like navy blue, and so I tried to incorporate that in the album packaging. So if you open up the vinyl and you open up the CD, you can see like all the different colors that I was seeing in my mind.
So do you see differences about, feeling love in terms of family love or, love to your partner, for example, when you sing about it on the album? Do you see like, different kinds of love as different colors?
A little bit, yeah, actually. Like, I think more of like the heartbreak stuff feels a little bit colder
Mhm.
tone. Like, so that's where I see a lot of like the navy blues and the reds kind of change in my mind. Like they go towards like cold undertones. And I
Okay.
think when I think of, the second half of the album, when I think more about the joy aspect of it, everything kind of gets a little bit warmer. Um, it goes to the more brighter reds a little bit and like warmer undertones. It just feels more like warmth and more rich and soft. I think it goes from like grainy to like soft. There's like a lot of, which is why I think again on the packaging, I wanted it to feel like a lot of it, I want it to feel very soft. Like, even the materials that I wear from the beginning of the album to the next, like in the videos, they feel a lot more gritty and rough and tight in the beginning. Even my hair is up, in the first video. And I think as the album goes on, like my hair gets looser and the clothing I wear becomes looser because I just wanted to feel like that, like
Yeah.
softness.
I really like the idea, like the whole package. So
Mhm.
about what we're doing right now, how important do you think it is to promote an album even after its release for it to be successful in the end?
I think it's super important. I think, first of all, like it's just kind of what you have to do nowadays because with social media and with the amount of music that's out there, like you can't, unless you're like, a massive, massive artist, you can't just like put something out and leave and expect people to just be there. I think it's important to like connect with people and show them that you care about the project. But I also think like it's a shame, it would be a shame for me to work for 3 years on something and then just like put it out and then just like abandon it once it's out, and like once I get what I need from the fans, like I'm out. I think it's important to keep showing love to it and keep breathing life into it because, it's such a shame. I think nowadays music gets thrown away so fast. But you work so hard on something. So I think you should put as much time into it, promoting it that you did making it. So, I'm gonna keep talking about this album and performing it wherever I can. And I just think it's important to give back like the energy at the end of the process that you put in like in the beginning.
I think Tyler, the creator, said that it's a really high percentage of the success for the album or song is to just promote it after the release. And a lot of artists just, focus on the release and then they go to the next song and the next album. So I guess it's really important for the artists. And can you share
Mhm.
with us, maybe it could help any other upcoming artists, what exactly you do to promote this album?
I mean, it's so crazy because what I have to do now and what artists have to do now is so different from what I had to do when I first started. It's like when I first started 10 years ago, it was like you go to different radio stations and I would go there with my guitar in their office and I'd play for them in the office and say, can you please play my song? And it was like you had to go everywhere and I think nowadays it's all about like social media. It's about the posting and the, engaging with the sound and a lot of like teasers. Like before, I think if you would put out a piece of a song before it was out, it was bad. It was like, oh, the song leaked. Now it's like people leak their own songs and leak pieces of their own songs, like in order for it to build momentum. I think it's like all about getting people's attention in a different way. So I guess if you're a new artist, I would say like don't shy away from like teasing different parts of your song before it's out. I think nowadays it's like what you have to do. Even though I don't love that because I love keeping things a secret, you kind of have to. And yeah, just like stay engaging, I guess, even though it's hard for me to say this because I don't like doing it, but I know it's what you have to do if you want to, have your music out there. So, yeah, post if you can and just be yourself. I think people like audiences are very smart, they can kind of tell what's real and what's not. And so just
Yeah.
be yourself and be as honest as you possibly can and just keep going. And also like don't just be discouraged if something doesn't happen right away too, because I think things can take on a new life. You see so many artists who have songs out for like 3 years and then they become big like years later. So
Yeah, it's
just
true.
like
Because of
keep
TikTok, for example.
exactly. So just keep doing it and don't discourage yourself if it's not happening right away. I think it's better to happen slowly. You see
Yeah.
so many artists like, Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, who've been working for like a million years, who finally have had their moment because they built the foundation, it's not this like fleeting thing. So I think it's important to build.
Hmm. And do you like to keep up with your audience, for example, on IG, or you're naturally more into this vibe of, keeping things more secret?
Um, it's so tough because I don't love social
You
media
can be
and
in the
I'm
middle, right?
yeah, like it's hard, right? Because you feel like I don't know, like I want to talk to them and I want to tell them everything, but I also want to maintain my level of privacy. And I'm a very shy person. I don't love like putting my whole life out there. So it's like you have to find a balance where I feel like I found a good balance where I talk to them and we can laugh and I feel like I have a great relationship with them and I connect with them. But at the same time, there are parts of my life that I don't post about or, I'm not like super, you know like in on like posting about like my personal life too much.
Mhm. I see. So you're also one of the few artists and the only Canadian ever to win the Grammys Award for the Best New Artist. And how
Mm.
it feels to achieve such a success in the just in the beginning of your career.
That was crazy. It was so like amazing on one side, but also like very overwhelming because, on one end of it, like my dream that I've always wanted it came true, which is beautiful. But then on the other side of it, it was at the beginning of my career. So now you have this like pedestal that you have to always reach all the time. So I felt like there became this pressure to get it again and again and to always live up to that version of myself, which was very challenging because I think like everybody like in life it goes like this and careers go like this and you're not always going to be at the top. And so I felt like this pressure to like live up to that a little bit from the people around me and from my audience and things like that. So that was challenging, but I think for the most part it was just such a beautiful thing to achieve something that I never thought in a million years would ever be close to me, let alone something that I would actually have. So it means a lot.
But do you think after these few years, do you still have the same energy? Did you maintain this level of motivation as in the beginning?
Um, I mean, yes and no. I think like when I was younger, I think because all I had was music, I made it like my whole life where I just all I cared about was like making music and working really hard in music and achieving goals in music and it was
Mhm.
like everything to me. And I think, it still is a huge part of my life and I love it so much and I am still very motivated. I do think that I just have other things in my life now that I care about a little bit more. And I realize that it's not everything, and you're going to make yourself sick if you just keep obsessing over things in your career. Like you have to have other things in your life that you nurture. And so for me, like I just shifted my focus a little bit to my family and my relationships and myself and taking care of myself. And it's just not healthy mentally to like, it's good to have goals and I still have goals, but I think it's not healthy to make it everything.
Sure. Okay, so what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna play a little game of Never Have I Ever. This is gonna be very fast, like
Okay,
three,
cool.
four sentences. So
Okay.
never have I ever used my popularity to get something done.
Honestly, no, never. I think my team has probably. I have never used like my Alessia Cara card ever,
Yeah,
ever, ever.
okay, that's cool. So never have I ever pretended in a conversation with another artist that I liked their music.
Honestly, probably. Well, actually no, because if I don't connect with the music, I usually don't mention the music. Like if I say I really like your music, I mean it.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Never have I ever had the chance to meet my idol.
No, I haven't because well, I have met a few of them, but Amy Winehouse was my biggest idol, and I never obviously got to meet her because she passed away. So no.
Okay. So then the last question, never have I ever had the opportunity to play a concert in Poland.
Ooh, never, but I will very
Yeah,
soon
I
in a
know it's
couple
gonna
of
change really soon. So you're
yes.
coming to Poland on June 19th, and it's the final concert of your tour. And this is the last question. What can we expect from you at this show?
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I'm so, so, so excited to play there. I've never done a show in Poland. I've been to Poland one time.
Hmm.
I opened for Shawn Mendes. So this will be my first personal show there. And you can expect hopefully a lot of songs from this album. I want to play majority of this album on stage. And a lot of just live, instrumentation. I want to play it as totally live as possible, as minimal tracks as I can, and just give people a great experience. I have never been there, so I want to just give it my all.
Okay, that's great. I can't wait to see you live. Thank you so much
Thank
for your time. It was so nice to talk to me, to talk and meet you. And remember, guys, that you can still buy the tickets for the show in Poland. So see you there.